Hi, Horror Recapped here. Today, I am going to be covering The Woman in the Window. Spoilers incoming. Beware and stay safe. Anna Fox is a child psychologist with severe agoraphobia, which means she does not ever leave her house. She spends her days living in her New York apartment in Harlem with her cat, Punch. In voiceover, we hear Anna happily talking on the phone with her husband Ed and their 8-year-old daughter Olivia. Anna explained that she was separated from her husband. She has a tenant named David, who lives downstairs and would help with the groceries. He occasionally offers to help with things, like the skylight that is molding and bound to break soon. Anna begins to spy on the neighbors, Alistair Russell and his family moving in across the street. Dr. Carl Landy comes weekly to visit Anna. They talk. He took it as a positive sign that her curiosity was easing her depression. She also mentioned that she was taking medication for depression and agoraphobia and had previously attempted suicide. Anna is even more interested in the Russells after being visited by Ethan, the son of the Russell family. He appears to be a sweet teenager dropping off a welcome gift from his mom. He comes over in the rain with a package in his hand. He appears on her doorstep and shows her the package. She is reluctant but eventually buzzes him in. He enters her home and talks to her. Her cat, Punch, likes him. He looks out her window and sees his dad from her window. Ethan starts to tear up a bit and Anna says they can be friends. She lets him borrow some movies before he heads back home. To end off the night, she laughs at an old movie while drinking the alcohol on the table, which could be why she is laughing so hard. The next night, she gets up because of all the commotion outside. She goes to the window and sees that her house is being egged by kids. She's breathing harder and harder as she opens the door. She faints and when she wakes up, she sees who she thinks is Jane Russell. They talk for a bit and start to bond with each other. Anna was bathing when she heard someone screaming outside. She heads to the window and calls the police for the Russells. She also calls Ethan to check up on him but he sounds distraught. He hangs up and she sees Jane leave her home. She begins to suspect that Alistair is an abusive father and husband. She prepares her camera and zooms in on the Russells. Ethan heads over to Anna's house and she lets him in. Ethan is definitely not alright, but Anna comforts him and ensures him that her house is safe. The next night, Anna looks out the window with her camera and sees that Jane Russell was stabbed with a knife, but she couldn't see who stabbed her. Anna calls the police. Then, she goes to try and help Jane but trips on the sidewalk. As she crosses the street, she is hit by a car and wakes up in her apartment in front of two detectives, who claim that Anna set off a false alarm. Alistair comes and tells Anna that his wife is fine, and that Anna has never met his wife. Jane takes out her hand for a handshake but Anna continues to deny that she is Jane. Even Ethan insists that Anna never met his mother and worries about Anna's psychological well-being. Anna spends several weeks proving she's not crazy by finding out all about Alistair Russell. She makes several calls to his company, verifying the information she collected. She discovers that Alistair has an assistant named Pamela Knotson, who recently died and is believed to have fallen from his balcony. In their tenant, David's bedroom, she also found earrings, reminiscent of the version of stabbed Jane Russell. Anna rushes to ask David if he's ever met Jane after working for Alistair. She found a letter from the Boston Trial Department. He owns up, saying he's in violation, supposed to be in Springfield, Massachusetts, because of a bar fight. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, got jumped and reacted. Then, he hit the wall to illustrate his point. The next day, Anna yells out the window at Ethan, asking him where his mother is. He comes into her house and they argue. His father takes Ethan, slams him and yells at Anna to leave his son alone. As Anna is looking at photos she took, she received an email with a photo of her sleeping. The police and detectives show up and Anna calls David out on Jane's earrings. David tells the police the truth saying they belong to Catherine, the woman he stayed with for one night. In a confrontation with the police, Alistair, David, and the real Jane Russell, we learn that Anna's family has died. She says that if her husband were here, he would believe her. But the husband and daughter that Anna spoke to on the phone turned out to be dead in a car accident. In her flashback, we join the Fox family. They were driving into the mountains for a Christmas ski trip. Anna strained her relationship with Ed, and he is not happy about giving their daughter a happy family vacation after Anna cheated on him. Anna then receives a call from an unknown caller, who Ed thinks is him and they argue over that phone call. Anna takes her eyes off the road, and her car flies off the mountain and kills her husband and daughter. Anna continues to have traumatic experiences with constant visions of swirling snow. She sees her car upside down in the snow. After attempting suicide, Anna meets therapist Dr. Landy to overcome her depression. Believing that Anna has limited her drinking problem, Dr. Landy prescribed her Elevant, a drug that has side effects when taken with alcohol. But because Anna definitely hasn't stopped drinking, she experiences hallucinations, including her phone calls with her dead husband. Anna apologized to everyone for this matter. Everyone forgave her. She admitted that she was having a hard time with her psychologist. Anna devises a new plan to commit suicide and records a video of the suicide note to make sure her tenant, David, isn't to blame for her death. But, when she looks at the photos on her phone, Anna sees something else. She sees the reflection of a woman in the mirror in a glass of wine the day Jane was stabbed. Anna shows the picture to David and tells him that this is proof there was someone there that day. David knows who she is and tells her that he spent the night with Katie and reveals Katie's true identity as Ethan's biological mother. He said Katie and Alistair Russell were in a relationship before Katie left after the pregnancy of 8 months. Alistair spent 2 years tracking her down and finally found her in a meth commune in Oregon. He took Ethan with him and she was sent to prison. Alistair marries Jane, and the Russells hide from Katie for years until she finds him in Boston, even though Alistair pays her to stay away. Katie followed them after they quickly moved to New York. She appeared at their apartment several times until she was killed. Katie is the woman that Anna witnessed being stabbed. David refuses to go to the police with Anna and leaves. Then Anna heard a thump and a sneeze. This is Ethan's son, who once said he was allergic to Anna's cat. The killer was never Alistair Russell. It was actually his 15-year-old son, Ethan. Ethan walks up to Anna with a knife in his hand and explains that he killed David in revenge for sleeping with his mother and brought her back into his life. Ethan also admits that he killed his mother, Katie, and secretly stayed at Anna's house for a week. It was Ethan who emailed her a photo of her sleeping. Ethan also admits that he has killed before, including his father's assistant, Pam, and plans on killing Anna when the family moved across the street. He watched Anna film her goodbye video and wished he could see her die. He chases her with a knife. When Anna slips on David's blood, David wakes up but Ethan finishes him off. Anna heads to the roof of her building as they continue fighting. Anna ends up getting the better of Ethan and pushing him through the glass hole. He fell in and died. Anna wakes up in the hospital. The police and detective apologize for not believing her. Apparently the real Jane Russell confessed everything about her son as a serial killer, and the authorities found Katie's body. Anna is no longer a suspect. Detectives suggest Anna to delete the suicide video from her cell phone to save her from the inconvenience of posting the video. 9 months later, the entire apartment is empty. Anna leaves her apartment and says goodbye to the house one last time. "I miss you," she says. She walks out the front door into the taxi. Now she can finally leave this chapter behind and move on with her life. Subscribe for more videos like this one. Turn on notifications. Leave a like to help the channel out. Let us know what you thought of this movie.